Hello, book besties.
I'm Albie.
And I'm Nikki,
Welcome to Backstage with the Book Babes.
where we spill the tea on the secret lives of your favorite romance authors.
We've got an amazing author with us today who writes contemporary romance with disability and mental health representation. So we're super excited to introduce you to her. But first off, what have you been up to, Nikki?
I had written this short story for a charity anthology last year. It's about just under 10,000 words. So I was just wanting to send it out to my newsletter this year because it's mine now. So I was like, I'm going to send it out as a freebie because it's like snowed in and it's got all those wintry vibes. So I've just been kind of working on editing that and then actually sending out my newsletter, which is the bane of my existence. But it's always a good thing, right? How about you? What have you been up to?
Definitely. I've actually been thinking about writing a little short story romance for an upcoming anthology. So,
Nice.
yeah, I have an idea, but I'm not solidified yet. So I'm not ready to share it quite yet.
Okay. Well, you can tell us about it on a later episode for sure. We want all
Definitely.
the details.
Yes.
Perfect. Well, that's what's going on with us. But now we're super excited to introduce you to Melissa Whitney, a big book babe. Welcome to you, Melissa.
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here with some fellow book babes.
We're super excited to
Yeah.
have you. It's going to be
Yeah.
fun. So let's just talk to start off a little bit about your books. Can you just tell us a little bit about your books? I saw that you write in multiple subgenres of romance, including small town, rom-com, and sports. But the focus of many of your books is mental health rep and disability rep. Is that right?
Yep. I'm the why choose author that doesn't write why choose.
Yes, okay.
I have trouble deciding which, maybe, who knows what the future will bring. I'm Melissa Whitney. I'm a blind woman and I write books with disability and mental health representation, mostly contemporary romance, but I have small town, sports romance, paranormal, and just like, straight up hardcore, contemporary. So it's really fun. I just whatever like story I kind of want to write, I follow that, and that's kind of the way I do my
That's
writing.
awesome. Yeah, I like that.
You got to follow the
Yeah.
vibes for sure.
Exactly.
It's all about the vibes.
So, what is the idea that comes first for you when you're writing a book? Is it a character or a scene, or like how do you decide?
So for each book, it's been like a little different. For At First Smile, which is my first own voice with a blind female main character, it was this joke that I made one day to a girlfriend of mine. I was flying to Vegas to see her. We were celebrating her 40th birthday, and I made this joke that, oh, I could totally be on the flight next to oh my gosh, why am I forgetting his name? The Captain America, Chris.
One of the Chris's.
Evans?
I always forget which one is which. I have
Evans,
no
thank
idea.
you. I almost said Chris Pine, and I was like, wrong Chris. But I could be next to Chris Evans, and like he would fall madly in love with me, and I would have no idea it's him. To tell my husband,
Nice.
I'm pretty sure my husband wouldn't want me to run away with Chris Evans.
Well,
And I made
you
this
know.
joke, and then I was like, wouldn't that be a cool?
Yes.
I mean, listen, I live in Southern California. The likelihood of Chris Evans stumbling upon me and falling madly in love with me is really high.
Yeah.
That's probably why my husband
It's a
doesn't like me to
tiny
go into
town.
LA
There's
alone.
hardly any people there, right?
Just hardly anybody. But yeah, I just come up with these fun scenarios. It's usually a scenario or like a single scene that just inspires me, and then I just go from there and I just let the story kind of unfold. I'm a pantser slash plotter, so I have a rough outline, and then the rest is the muses speaking to me.
Feel that. Yeah,
That's awesome.
for sure.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
when you're writing your books, you said that there are a lot of adaptations you have to do in order to do the same things that non-visually impaired authors do. So would you be willing to elaborate on that and explain it to, because, a lot of people would not understand that and would be very curious to see how it works for you.
Yeah, so I have retinitis pigmentosa, RP. It's an eye condition that causes total blindness. I have a little bit of vision still, like just a little bit. enough to get myself in trouble, but not always enough to get myself out of it, which is fun. Like, I see just enough to get myself in trouble, but I have to like do things like it's differently than other people. So like for example, when you come up with ideas, right? A lot of people just jot it in notebooks, right? I have to do it like voice note into my phone and then have it like listen to it later. When I write my stuff, I do write it using Microsoft. And no, I'm not being sponsored by Microsoft. And when I I mean, if Bill Gates wants to sponsor my writing, I'll take a check. I'm kidding. But when I write it, I go back through and I use things like read aloud to hear maybe things that I didn't like catch. So I do a lot of that kinds of stuff, or even just because I see the world in a non-visual way, when I write characters who are sighted, I have to think about like how they would visibly present certain feelings, how even like a sunset looks. So I have to do a lot of research. I have the thesaurus of emotion that I look at, or I'll run things past sighted people and say, hey, what color is this? And how was this going to appear? And I have to do a lot of research for that. So even just my small town romances, nobody has visual impairment. I don't think people realize, because they're like, oh, a small town romance must be so easy for you to write. It's like, do you realize how much time and energy it took me to just research what a sunset looks like when I'm so it's things like that I don't think people
Yeah, totally.
see, pun intended.
Yeah. They don't see all the work that goes in behind the scenes for you to be able to describe that. It's almost, as other authors, we also have to do research on things, subjects we don't know about. And the last author we interviewed was talking about that too, how she had to do some research into arcades and how arcade machines worked and things like that. So but you have to do it for like the whole thing, for all of the cited things and what people are seeing in colors, and that's very impressive.
Yeah, I think that's very impressive. But then you also do like mental health rep in your books, right? Like what type of research do you have to go into that and ensuring the accuracy when representing those things?
Yeah, so I have a master's in social work, and I've
Oh,
worked in
cool.
healthcare for
Okay.
it
Yeah.
just sounds so fancy.
You are fancy. Yeah.
I'm a fancy lady. So I tap into my degree, and obviously I've had 17 years of practicing in healthcare. So I tap into that. But then I also do a lot of research, reading articles, talking to friends of mine who work as therapists, and friends of mine who maybe live with those conditions. I think it helps that a number of the things that like I've talked about are things like that I have, like complex PTSD and anxiety. So there is a little bit of own voiceness to that makes things a little bit more authentic. But even that is like my experience is my experience. So I follow a lot of creators who talk about mental health. I engage with folks who are living with their mental health every day. So I think it's a lot of research and a lot of just being in community with people to try to have an authentic voice and being thoughtful in that portrayal, because I think often we see a lot of mental health used to make things more sensationalized and as trauma porn versus like, hey, here's somebody who has anxiety
For sure.
and they're just living their lives.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, that's great.
That definitely makes sense. Yeah.
But moving beyond that, your book blurb sounds super cute. We love that. What are the heat levels that readers can expect when they dive in there?
Ooh, all of my stuff is open door, so I will let you know that. It depends on the book. Some books, and also your preference level. I would say some of my books are maybe 1 chili pepper to 3 chili peppers. My debut and the Hello and the Goodbye is probably like just 1 chili pepper. At First Smile, which I'm very proud of because it is my first blind female main character, is my spiciest book.
Nice.
I'm like, yes,
Love
that blind girl's getting railed.
Fair, yeah.
I like it.
Everyone deserves that, for sure.
My husband always laughs.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. My husband always laughs. He's like, yeah, you made the blind girl be the one who's just getting it on everywhere. And I was like, I think it depends. But my books also, the spice comes later. So I think a lot of readers don't realize how spicy it's going to be. Happy Ever After Life is like that for a lot of readers. They're like, oh, this is so sweet. And oh, it's such a great conversation about grief. And oh, it's so oh, she's sitting on his face. So it's so I would say like it's moments like that.
For
I
sure.
love that.
No,
That's
that's
what-
awesome.
That's what to expect from my books.
Surprise.
Yeah,
Spice.
sweet and then
Yeah.
spicy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
perfect.
Sweet but
That's good.
spicy. Yeah. That is
Yeah.
my brand, sweet but spicy, which I think people enjoy because, it's
Yeah.
fun. I want to remind people that like you can have like these great, really fantastic spicy scenes, but also like just like the sweetest, gushiest book that makes you feel good. And I don't think you have to be one or the other.
No, definitely
Yeah,
not.
I agree. I agree. Yeah.
Hmm.
So your book covers are all illustrated. How did you decide between doing illustrated or doing like the man chests type covers? What was that process?
Well, one, the vibe. Your book cover always needs to fit the vibe of the book, which is funny for the blind chick to say. Because I really do not judge a book by its cover because I'm like, let me see the blurb. But I feel like those books, those covers work really well if you're doing like mafia or like suspense or paranormal or like dark romance, like a grittier romance. 100% those titles. I think if you saw like a shirtless, like black and white cover for At First Smile and then you read At First Smile, you'd be like, what is happening?
Cognitive dissonance.
Doesn't match. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah, so that was kind of what I like researched and obviously like got other people involved because vision
Yeah.
with covers that were similar to the vibe of my books, and that helped me kind of narrow down what I was going for. And I know it's a controversial topic. I would love to have like really cool photography, but we're just not there yet.
Yeah.
That's all
well,
right.
everything
Yeah.
costs so much money
Everything
and
time.
branching out in different areas for sure. Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
So the other thing that we noticed when we saw your application, one of the first things we saw was that you're going to be at Sports Romance Con this year, which Albie and I are also going to be there. So we're super excited. We're going to get to meet you in person as well. But what's your favorite thing about meeting readers in person?
Oh my gosh. First, I'm so excited about Sports Romance Con. I was there at the inaugural year. I had so much fun. So I can't wait to see y'all. It's going to be a great time. And that's probably my favorite. Okay, so writing the book is always my favorite thing. Like I geek out when I'm writing my books, right? Like
For sure.
every author, you need to fall in love with your story because otherwise, why are you doing it? And the second thing I just absolutely love is interacting with readers. And whether I am at an event as a author or as a reader, or I'm just going to the bookstore, because I'm notorious for going to bookstores and just being like, oh, what are you looking for? What do you like to read? And getting people to find their book, and not just my book, although I will sell you my book, but I will also tell you about my best friend's book or this book I just read that I need you to read because we need to talk about it. So I love getting that chance to like connect with readers, hear what they're loving about the romance genre, hearing from them about what books they're reading. And of course, every author wants to hear like how your book connected with them, that of course, but just building that relationships. I think like my favorite thing this past year was I was at Steamy Lit and we had like there was like 10 15 people around my table and they were all in line, and I looked at my PA and I said, this will not do. And one of the women was visibly tired, my PA could see her, and I had her come sit next to me, and then I pulled everyone together and we basically like had like them circled around my table, and I was like, we're gonna have a tell-in, and then we just gabbed, like all of us. And I'm like, I'm probably not doing this right because I'm supposed to like, and I still signed all their books and did all the things, but we just chatted, and that's what I love, is getting to just
so
talk to
nice.
people about the books we love. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad I'm not the only person though, like at bookstores, to just insert myself in other people's conversations and be like, so what are you buying? Oh no, if you want this trope, check out this book. And yeah, I'm glad I'm not alone.
That's
Thank
amazing.
you.
You're not. It's happened so much to me that people ask me if I work at the bookstore, and my husband's mortified because one time I was there doing a signing and he's like, baby, they think you work here and you're about to go do an event in like an hour. And I was just like, that's okay.
Yeah, I would love to work at a bookstore. That sounds great.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I
Even
mean,
if
I'm
it's
just
just
lucky.
fictional.
Heartbound, the all romance, right?
Yeah.
I haven't written a bookstore owner yet, but I know it's going to happen because I go into Heartbound, the all romance bookstore in Anaheim. They're like not that far away from where I live. I go in there enough where I could probably use that as like, a good reference point, but I'll just go in there some days just because I'll just go buy a cup of tea and come in and just sit and hang out with them and chat with customers. And they I kind of tease that I'm like their unofficial romance author mascot.
It's a good thing to
Love
be, I
that.
think. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Now, I was looking at your books, and so I saw that you do hockey romance, and I saw a marathon one, right? Where like they run a marathon. Are there any other sports that I missed when I glanced through?
So those two have sports in it. There is some pickleball. There is a pickleball duel in Book Boyfriends.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, the male main character is really into pickleball.
That's so fun.
Those are the only those are the only sporty books I've written. I am toying with my PA Megan, who will be at Sports Romance. You'll get to meet her. Everybody loves her better. She's amazing. Shout out Megan. Because she's gonna listen to this and go, yes, everybody does love me better. She wait till you meet her, you'll get it. She's teased me about writing goalball, which is kind of like blind rugby, where all the players, no matter what your vision is, are completely blindfolded.
Oh my
so
goodness.
even non-visually impaired people will play with friends.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
and
that
she's like, you
sounds
should totally write a
awesome.
goalball book.
Sounds so
I'm,
fun.
I'm
Yeah.
toying with it. I have an idea, but I haven't kind of fully fleshed it out yet. But I'm like, ooh,
Yeah.
that does, yeah.
I
a
agree with
really
Megan.
hot
Yeah, I
blind
wanna see
rugby
this.
player.
Yeah, that sounds great.
That does sound super fun. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. Well, especially
Yeah.
because my focus is sports you probably haven't heard of so much, and so like that sounds like right up the alley of what I would want to read. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually,
I love seeing the non-traditional. Granted, I wrote a hockey, but that was mainly because originally he was going to be an actor, and I was just like, this is boring. And my husband's like, you should make it hockey because he's, we have season tickets to the Ducks, and he just wanted an excuse to talk about, hockey. So he gets very excited when he goes to the season Ducks, like as a season ticket holder. When he goes to events, he's always like, yeah, my wife wrote a hockey romance.
nice. He's your number one supporter, which is important.
He's very proud.
Yeah, perfect.
He's Mr. Whitney is very much a big supporter.
Yeah, I was actually at Sports Romance Con last year as well. I didn't meet you. I didn't meet a lot of people because it was so busy, and I made a few friends at the beginning of the week. I didn't know anyone when I went there, so I made a few friends at the beginning of the week, and then I just kind of stuck with them because I didn't know what was going on. But this year, Albie's going to be there, and I know some other people, and we're going to get to meet.
And
you,
I also
and,
will not know what's going on.
It's okay because I will sort of know what's going on. I don't know. Yeah, it's all good.
You just come find me. Megan and I haven't bought my ticket yet, or I haven't bought my plane ticket yet, but I have everything else done. Megan and I are going to fly in early Thursday, check in. Yeah, we want to go to the bookstore there, the romance bookstore, and just be up around. And it'll be fun. I'm really excited. Chelsea Cordo and I will be seeing each other like the week before. We're doing it hasn't been officially announced yet, so I guess you're getting breaking news.
News.
We're doing an event together.
Oh, nice. That's
Literally
so
the
fun.
Sunday before, and then see each other Thursday. And I know I was like, Chelsea, you're gonna be so sick of me.
I'm sure she won't be. You
That's
seem
awesome,
delightful.
though.
I did go to the romance bookstore there when we were there last year, though.
She's
It
amazing.
was good. Yeah, it was good. Perfect.
Oh, yay!
Yeah, we
It
made a
looks
trip in
cute.
there.
I can't
It's
wait to
super
go
cute.
see it. I'm
Yeah.
bummed. I'm bummed I didn't see it last time.
Well, we're also getting there, I think, on Thursday.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'll want to drive over to the bookstore after driving 8 hours to get there, but
I think we went in
definitely find
on
a time to
the
go.
Friday last year, but this year we're both on panels, so that might be a little harder to make a little trip, but we'll see.
Nice. What panels are you on? Are you on the one that's the non-traditional sports one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you on the panel also?
I saw that. I thought. No, I'm on the
that's so
diversity
fun.
panel.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, perfect. I'm on the
Good
feminism
one.
panel, so we're all different ones.
Ooh,
That's all right.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
We'll just
Should be
represent
fun. So are
Sports
you bringing
Romance Con
any
right now.
Yeah, exactly. Can we go now?
Yeah.
Are you bringing any swag, and are your books up for pre-order? Where can people grab those for?
Yeah. So for Sports Romance Con, the the Tropes and Trifles bookstore has At First Smile and the Recovery Run for pre-order. The Recovery Run actually drops on the 3rd, so it's my brand new release, the 3rd of March, I should specify. So you can pre-order and pick it up there and get signed.
Nice.
Also, I will have very limited copies of some fun bedazzled covers.
Nice.
We had bedazzled covers as display at Steamy Lit, and we had a number of readers who asked to buy them, and we were like, oh, maybe we should do this. And then my brilliant PA was like, let's do it for Sports Romance because it's our second year there, and then I've been quietly mentioning it at other events of people who I know are going to be at Sports Romance, and they're like, oh, I want a copy. So we're going to have that limited supplies at the table of that.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. So they can't order the bedazzled one ahead of time. It just has to be like a first come, first serve thing.
First come, first serve. Yes. I'm
go running
with you to come to my table first.
Running to Melissa's table. That's what you want to stampede. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes, I want a stampede. I want AK Isaacs to pull me aside and give me a long talking. I want Steph and Sarah to wag their fingers at me and say, Melissa Whitney, you were on thin ice to not come back next year, but we're also going to have you come back next year.
Oh, brilliant. I love that. Oh my gosh. Oh man. So for these live events, do you have any nerves, anxiety, stress? Like, are there things that you have to do as a visual person? Are there like different ways you have to arrange things? I just don't know.
Oh yeah, like everything on my table is placed in specific order where my books are placed, so I know which books are which, where they are non-visibly, what things are where in the back. I do have to have a PA with me. I have found I tried doing an event without a PA, and if it's at a bookstore and it's just like me and the books, that's fine. Like I can handle that. The bookstore people are really amazing. But when it's a a big event like a Sports Romance Con or a Steamy Lit, or I'll be at like Love Lit Con in February, I have to have a PA with me. One, navigating the space, because if you think about it, like it's overwhelming for you all to, as visually, non-visually impaired people, to go to a hotel and be like, oh, may find stuff around. Imagine doing that blind.
Mm-hmm.
And then you throw in 500 to 1,000 people.
Yeah.
And it's like,
oh my gosh.
My
stress level's already high.
Yeah. For sure.
Right? There is that. And as friendly as outgoing as I am, there is a lot of anxiety associated with it, because like when you're visually impaired, your nervous system is like at a 10 all the time. So like I already have complex PTSD and my nervous system's at a 10. So I'm like, so I just listen to my body. If I have to take a break, I have a PA, my PA, and I kind of create like a safe space in the area. I've been really blessed that a lot of the events have been lovely to help set up me in the right space. And then events that don't, I just don't go back. I'm very mindful about that. So and there's a lot of communication with events ahead of times of like the things I need. I'm really good about adapting and figuring things out, and I figured out what's worked with me. I do need some adaptations, but I also am like not high maintenance where, I can't work with a venue. Like, oh, that Melissa Whitney, she's a writer. We can only have green M&Ms at her table.
Oh, you don't have a rider that's intense?
Don't make direct eye contact. It's just minimally intense. Like I need like the orange flavored LaCroix, a minimal amount of bowing and curtsying. No, I'm kidding.
Perfect. I'll practice my curtsy beforehand.
For sure. Yeah. We'll work on it together.
I love it.
And what are your signing must-haves? Like, what do you recommend authors or readers bring to their first signing event? What do you need to have with you when you go to these things?
Oh my gosh. Two different categories, right? So as a reader, because I've gone as a reader, which is intense, because again, navigating a space as a blind person is like, as a reader, I tell people, who are your must-have authors, right? And if they're like a bigger author, so if you're going to Sports Romance, right, like Emily Rath and Amy Award are going to be there, and Chelsea Cordo, Peyton Corinne, like some bigger authors. Those are your must. I was like, okay, it's 2 days. Decide which two go quickly and get their numbers, do all that kind of stuff first, have their books ready to go. And then once you've done that, then go around and just enjoy yourself. Like, check out the new authors, spend some time talking to new authors. Like, the first year I went to Steamy Lit, I discovered like so many new authors. I became a huge Kimberly Lemming fan because I hadn't read her stuff, and I literally walked past her table and I was like, "What do you write?" And she was just chatting away, and I was like, "Oh my God, your books sound amazing." And then I literally
awesome.
went up to my room and downloaded the audiobook while I was at Steamy Lit, and I had the book halfway read before I left. And I was like, "Yeah, you're an auto-buy," and just, started devouring her whole backlog. So that's what I do. Like, bring snacks and just have fun. Like, I think a lot of times a lot of readers go with this, "Oh my God, I have to meet so and so and so and so." Just no, like, let that go. Maybe one or two authors you really want, and then the rest just enjoy time with your fellow readers, meet other authors. And I say that too for like authors. When you come to these events, you always are like, "I want to sell X amount of books." Let that expectation go and then just go and have fun. And I see these events as a way to connect with new readers, connect with readers that have been following you, connect with other authors that you've been interacting with, or to meet new authors, and just have a good time. I mean, just treat yourself kindly while you're there. Bring your favorite snacks, bring your favorite drinks, and just be okay with the fact that for those 2 nights, you're probably not going to get a lot of sleep, but you are going to have a lot of fun.
You're going to be exhausted, but it's going to be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
It is
Oh, that's
totally going to be amazing.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was great this year. Like, I went to a few first time events in 2025, and they were all
Mhm.
amazing. Like, they were run well, there was no issues, the organizers were fantastic. So it was really great to be part of those events, and Sports Romance Con was 100% one of them.
Yeah. Yeah. I was so disappointed not to be able to come last year, but I didn't have any sports romances out, and I was like, I knew it was coming. I saw Steph CR at Romance Bookstore Day, and she was telling me about it, and I was like, keep me in mind for next year. I'm gonna do it next year, and she was like, okay. So yeah.
And now you're here. Now you're
So
going.
yeah, and now we're going. So Melissa,
Yay!
what is something that a reader has said to you either at one of these events or online, saying like that like really stuck with you in a very positive way?
Oh, okay. So I have amazing readers. I'm just hands down, I have the best readers in the business, and I will fight you tooth and nails. No, I have some amazing readers, and I've just been so blessed. I think like two moments that really stick out to me. First was I was doing an event with the floral. I can never say that name, Stephanie. I'm so sorry. Stephanie is amazing. She runs the all romance book truck in the South Bay area, so like the Torrance area here in Southern California, the Floreal, and she does amazing events. And she had me come out for one of her book swaps, and there was a woman who drove from Burbank to Torrance during rush hour. That's like a 3-hour drive.
Oh wow. Yeah.
It was, yeah. And she came out and she bought every single one of my books. And it wasn't just because she bought every single one of my books. She could have came out and not bought a single book but she drove all that way to see me because she had read At First Smile, and it was like so powerful for her. She had gone through a breakup that was really bad, and she was in a really dark place. And she said, "This book gave me hope that, relationships can be like this, that you can have a relationship where you feel connected." And especially I think because in that book, that book gets talked about a lot about the disability representation, but it's also a story about a young woman who was in a emotionally abusive relationship prior to Penn meeting Rowan. She's with Alex, her ex, and Alex was love bombing her and gaslighting her and even stalking her and all of this stuff that, like, I think a lot of female friends of mine have gone through in past relationships, that it didn't click for them that this is an emotional abuse. And this happens unfortunately really regularly in the disability community. 80% of disabled women will experience intimate partner violence, either emotional abuse or physical abuse or sexual abuse in a relationship, and it happens at higher rates within the disability community. So it's really important to me to like tell that story, but also show that you can get to the other end of it and not have it focus in on like what happened, but it was like the aftermath of like Penn finding her heart again and like building this really healthy, amazing relationship with Rowan. And this reader was really empowered by that and touched. And for me, that was like, that's like, this is why I write these books. Like, people, maybe my books aren't like the sexiest. Maybe they're not like, oh, these green flag men she writes. It's like, no, it's because these relationships,
Yeah.
these people do exist. And I want to explore this and show that you can come out of toxic situations and have like relationships based on like good communication and consent and building something that's beautiful, swoony, and healthy. And so that was like a really powerful moment for me. And that was like, I remember my husband was there and he and I just like left, and I looked at him and he's like, this is exactly why you do what you do. And I'm still riding high from that. And that was like in July.
I love that.
Yeah.
No, that's beautiful. Yep. And that is why we do it, right? That's so important.
Oh, yeah. I love that. Those are the book boyfriends that we all need in real life, too,
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. And we all deserve that. We deserve to have partners that do that. And that's, I find that romance is aspirational. Like a lot of romances are aspirational, but they also are like reflective of reality. And not to be like super braggadocious, but like I'm really blessed in my marriage, and the great Mr. Green Flag, Mr. Whitney, he is very much a green flag guy. He's your grumpy cinnamon roll. He's like all the things.
I love that.
And I adore him. And so much of our relationship infiltrates my writing with the relationships my characters have and the communication. And I think it's important to showcase that because
Yeah.
it's not just aspirational, but it is reflective. And I think people forget that like these relationships aren't rare. They're out there. We just don't talk about them as much as we talk about the toxic ones.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
I like that.
are you still working full time while you're writing? Is that
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
yes, I have 2 full-time jobs.
oh, yeah.
Oh.
Feel that, yeah. We added a third one when we started the podcast, so
Yeah.
and how do you balance that?
I mean, you ladies, oh my gosh. I mean, one, props to you all for doing the podcast and the writing and the full time and all the other things I know we do as women, the relationships that we have, all of the things. That is a lot. Schedules. I think it's really important to have like a schedule of when you're going to do things and priorities. I'm still kind of finding balance, and kind of ironically, at church on Sunday, we do what's called Star Sunday, and they give you, you pick a star that has like a word on it. You don't see it. Obviously, I didn't see it until my husband read it to me, but you don't see it until you flip it over. And mine said self-care, and he was like, ha ha. And I was like, okay. So yeah, just a little reminder is like, I need to take a break every now and then. I think scheduling yourself, knowing when you're going to be most productive, when you're not, and then building time to take breaks between writing and marketing and doing all the things to do things that you love that refills your well, and being mindful that like when you're struggling in your writing and you're struggling in your marketing, that's indicative of you maybe not taking care of yourself elsewhere. And to take time to do that. So I'm very ritualistic. Every night I work, and then I like stop my work day, and then I go have dinner with my husband and play with my pugs. And then he and I maybe go on a date or something, or we do things around the house. And then I take a nice bubble bath. And then I go and I write for an hour or two, and then I end my night with him. We like to snuggle in bed and watch like, Ghost Adventures and
Nice.
The Dead Files.
Nice. Right before bed. Good bedtime.
If it has a ghost
watching.
in it. It's stuff like that. I'm like, no wonder I'm writing a paranormal right now. But I follow like my ritual, and that helps me, and I take breaks when I need to. And I know that's what I do. I don't know what you all have found that works well.
I haven't found any balance yet. So it's something that people yell at me to do, and I'm like, yeah, but I can just keep writing 16 hours and working 16-hour days. It's fine. It's fine. It's not. But
You do realize there's only 24 hours in a day, right?
Yeah.
That's 32 hours, ma'am.
Yeah. Well, because I'll just keep working, and then I go straight to bed, and then I get up, and then just starts over again. But I need to do better. I like your ideas of like routines, and we'll see.
Sure. Yes. routines, and I do want to throw one other thing in there because people always comment, they're like, oh my gosh, you published 4 books in a year. Wow, how'd you write so many books in a year? It's like, I didn't write 4 books in a year. I started writing and I had several books in the so the 2 books that will publish in 2026 were already written.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like one of them's been written for almost 2 years and has been edited and line edited and copy edited and is going to the proofer because I want to look at it one more time because again it's been done for 2 years. I'm like, oh, I want to make sure I didn't write anything that's going to get me in trouble. So it's really important to maybe consider that. I think especially like indie authors feel they have to publish, and I understand. So I encourage like new indie authors, if you have like a lot of books, like get a good like flow going, a good process, and like maybe stay 2 or 3 titles ahead so you're not feeling that pressure, and then you can kind of, you know, publish at a speed that like is manageable for you and maybe get a few out in the beginning and then you can do like, you know, 1 or 2 a year. But again, like I have a flow. So as I'm drafting, I'm typically have a book that's in the editing process. So while it's with my editor, I'm drafting. And then when it comes back from her, it usually is a good time for me to stop in the drafting process, step away from that, edit, blah, blah, blah. And so like everything's like in a different part of the process. And it just keeps me creative the whole time. But it keeps me like in a manageable schedule where I'm not feeling like I have to, you know, pull my hair out.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. I've actually, like this year, I managed to cut my hours down from full time to part time. So that's been helpful. But I do also have 2 children as well. So my life is a little bit chaotic. But I do also have a very supportive husband. So
That is a lot.
So that's very, very good.
Yeah.
They're 13 now. So they're
I
a
like-
little bit older. So they're not, you know, they're not as high maintenance anymore. But yeah.
I like that idea
you
of
have the
writing
cats.
ahead, though.
Yeah. I have one cat. Yeah, he's a little chaotic too, for sure. He's a chaos gremlin.
Yeah. He's an orange cat.
Yeah.
The
He's
orange operating system.
He's white, but he has enough orange
Yes,
on him
they
that
do.
it's just seeped into his brain. He doesn't have enough brain cells operating, but he's adorable. So we forgive him.
Aw.
Oh, goodness. All right. So for your writing, do you have any like little rituals for that process also? Like snacks, a playlist, a specific outfit or type of outfit that you have to be wearing for like the right vibe sessions?
Well, typically when I'm writing, because I'm writing in the evenings or the weekends, or if like a day off or something, I'm usually like in comfies, like jammies. I love a jammy. I love a jammy set.
that.
Or leggings with like a giant hoodie that I have a whole plethora of like Jane Austen inspired hoodies.
Nice.
And
Oh my gosh.
yes, like, you know, in a world of Wickham's, be a Darcy, like things like that.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
I'm like, I want these sweaters now.
Yes. Where did you get them? We
Where
need
can
to
I go
know.
get them?
You will see me at you know, Etsy is your friend. You'll see me rocking one of those, or at least all of them during sports romance. At least when you'll see me. I'm the queen of like in the morning. You're gonna see me at the coffee cart in my hoodie and my pajama. I have like everyone else. It's like, oh, let me get a full face, and I'm like, hair's like a hot mess. I'm not wearing a bra. I got a hoodie on. Like I am unglamorous. But I usually I'm just like, I'm in my cozies. I always have music on that fits the vibe of like the overall aesthetic of the book. But then also if there's specific scenes, I will play specific music that helps me get into the flow of that. And then other than that, it's usually just like a lot of tea. I'm a big tea drinker. So I usually have like tea, just like a big cup of tea next to me. And then I'm like filling it up, or during the weekends, my husband knows about like every like hour he'll come in and go, do you want another cup of tea? I'm like, yes.
Nice.
What a great husband. Oh my gosh.
Do you have
that
specific
sounds
teas that are your favorites,
the
like
best.
different types, or do you just drink mostly one kind?
I have an entire cabinet full of teas. Like I have a tea buying problem and drinking problem. I love lavender tea. I love peppermint tea. I love a pumpkin chai. I love any type of chai. I tend not to like the fruity teas. I like a floral, anything floral, or like Republica tea has a lot of like the baked good type of teas.
Oh,
Tastes like
yum.
you're eating like a red velvet cake, like
Oh
that
my
kind
gosh,
of
that sounds
stuff. So
fantastic.
yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah, I love a tea shop.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to step up my tea game now.
Yeah, seriously.
go
Well, that's
wow.
part
Get
of
some
our
red velvet cake tea.
part of our like
Well, maybe we can
slogan
find
and
a
everything
tea
is
shop.
spilling the tea. Yeah. Oh,
Yes, a
and
tea shop
in
in
Yeah, I
Minneapolis?
mean,
Yeah. Tea date.
yes,
We're
there's
making
got
a
to be
tea
a tea
date. We're not
shop.
even there yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm gonna find a tea shop. And especially if it has scones. I want to see if I don't know if she has one in right in Minneapolis proper, but I know Nadia Cakes, Abby Jimenez Bakery is in that area, and I really want to go just so I can check it off my
Yeah.
list.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they
Yeah.
have one in Minneapolis or if it's someplace else.
Yeah. I have to check it out. Okay.
We can
It's
look
going
at
on the
look
list.
into
Tea
it.
date.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So I know you're not supposed to have or not supposed to admit, I guess, that you have a favorite child. But do you have a favorite character that you've written?
Oh my God. I mean, listen, I don't listen. I know people say that. I have two pugs. I am blessed with two pugs. I don't have human children. I have a favorite. I love my girl pug Cookie. It's just but my boy is also. I love him. He's got my heart. But he's my old man. He's in his old man era. Oh my gosh. So with my books, oh my gosh, it's so hard. I would say my favorite character. Can I do like one main and one secondary?
Yeah, for sure.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Okay, okay. I would say for my favorite main character, I absolutely loved writing Colm from In the Hello and in the Goodbye, my debut, which I know people are gonna be like, wait, what about Penn? Like, I love all my, but the reason why I loved writing Colm was it was the first time I wrote a male main character where it was dual POV. So it was my first time having to get really into the male head. And that book is inspired by my husband and I and what we went through our first year of marriage. And so it was like really cathartic and also really cool to get into his head and write this character, and then to have friends of ours, including his mother, read the book and say, "Oh, you captured my son so well." And then to have women geek out and like call him
Aw.
their book boyfriend. I'm like, one, you will never meet my husband in person. And two, yes, mission accomplished.
That's all mine, you say.
He's so precious. He's so precious. I love that character, and I have a book coming out in the summer that is the kind of the continuation of that story. It's interconnected, standalone. It's the best friend from that book story, which I love this book, and I'm so excited for it to come out. And it was really fun to revisit Colm and Evie and where they are now in their relationship. So they're definitely like my favorite, and I would say like my secondary favorite character was in my paranormal romance, Beth, who is the ghost. She is just everything. She's everything you want in a Victorian ghost. She's sassy, she's haughty. She has an obsession with Kelly Clarkson, and people are like, "What?" It's like, well, because Victorian ghost, she's gonna sit around and watch TV. What else is she gonna do? She's dead, and she gets into everybody's business. I love her so much. So those are my two favorite characters, but I love all my babies.
It's so fun. Yeah, I love that.
That's hilarious.
I imagine when you were doing your
Yeah.
paranormal, you had to do some like research and look into different things. But what's the weirdest thing you've ever had to Google for a book?
Okay, so I'm what I'm writing right now is like a full on paranormal. I mean, it's like Buffy the Vampire Slayer meets Gilmore Girls.
Oh, amazing.
And
I love that.
I know this book might be the most unhinged. It's still like my very cozy, like sweet and spicy vibes, but it like in terms of the story, I think it's really unhinged. But my editor's like, I think people are gonna really enjoy it, but we'll see. There was a lot of Romanian stuff in it, and so like I went down this whole like rabbit hole about Romanian names. And I was like messaging like author friends of mine. I was like, hey, did you know your name means this in Romanian? And I don't know, I just found that to be really fascinating. It is funny the things that I had to, and I did spend a lot of time because the whole like the male main character is a werewolf, and it was to not or not to not, and I literally spent like an hour just going down the Omegaverse
Nice.
rabbit hole and do I want knotting, and my husband was like, what's knotting? Are you writing about crocheting?
Amazing.
Oh my gosh.
So can you share? What your conclusion you came to?
Did you decide about nodding? What's yeah.
Oh, y'all are going to have to read the book to see.
What a tease.
Oh my
Listen,
God.
I will tease you if it gets you to pick up that book and read it. I will tell you this though. The first time I ever talked about nodding was, well, we all know about nodding, but my PA, Megan, does not know about nodding because she reads mostly sapphic romance. It doesn't really happen in sapphic romance. And we were at Steamy Lit, and I was talking about the nodding scene from Elizabeth Stevens' whole superheroes need PR. And she was like, "What's nodding?" And she didn't know. She just heard me say, like, "Oh yeah, like that's got a really great example of nodding in it." She's like, "What's that?" And we're at a table full of authors who all knew. And we went, "Megan, look it up." And she looked it up, and her face was like, I said, "Oh my God." She's like, "That doesn't happen in sapphic romance."
Sure doesn't.
Oh
my
goodness,
gosh.
that's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
no.
Oh, oh man. My cat's over here looking at me like, "What are you doing? Why are you laughing so much?" Oh my gosh. Oh man.
He's like, "Let me tell you about nodding."
Exactly.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
Cash
He's
just
like,
be
"We're the
judging us.
experts."
Yeah. He just got his balls
why I'm
cut off,
bugs.
so like no more.
Oh, poor guy.
Oh, he's not judging you now. He's plotting your death.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. He's gonna come for me in the night. Oh my gosh. But
Simon's just on my bed
So-
staring at me with his judgmental look. So
yes, they judge so hard. But so you have 2 pugs. Have you ever snuck them into a book? Or like,
Oh,
would
yeah,
you ever sneak them? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm shameless. My so Milo, my little man dog is Fitz, the pug from Finding Home. Fitzwilliam Darcy. He
nice.
he
I
is
love it.
Milo. So, and people who know Milo who've read the book are like, "Oh my God, that's Milo!" And then Queen Elizabeth, the corgi from the first in the Hello and in the Goodbye, her personality was Coco, who was my little girl pug we lost last year. She was 13. We rescue our dogs and we try to give them the best lives as possible. And we had rescued her at 1, and so good 12 years with us. But she
Yeah.
inspired that character. So yeah, all of my my dogs have Cookie, my new little girl, hasn't, but we just rescued her in September. She hasn't made it into mommy's books yet, but it will happen.
She will for
Will
sure.
happen.
You know what's really
Yes.
funny
Oh,
though
well,
is I have a cat
Yes.
in one of my books also named Fitz for the same reason, because she owns a bookstore.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
yeah. Oh, well.
I love that. And have you put your cats, both of you, put your cats in your books yet?
Yeah, my last book in my series, we were actually like kind of getting ready to start looking for a cat and adopt. So that book ended up getting, they end up volunteering at a cat rescue, and there was a one-eyed cat named Bluebeard, and it's a whole big part of the plot. So at the end of the book, when in the epilogue, when they're like happily ever after, then Simon makes an appearance. So yeah, and I called him by that too. So, and I dedicated it to
Aw.
him as well.
Yeah.
I
So
love
I
that.
love that. I have cats in my books, but I actually named my company after my cat. Love Luna Press after my actual cat. And yeah,
Aw.
she definitely she has like her own stickers, and she's got all the goods. Yeah. She's not like a main character yet, but she's all main character energy for my business. So
For sure.
I love that. I love that. Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we're 3 pug publishing, so we had 3 pugs when I first started
Perfect.
writing and
gosh, see.
publishing, and so yeah, I am a pug mom through and through, and Milo,
Yeah.
my older boy, has even come to some book events with me.
That's so nice.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And I'm
So
sorry
you're
about your
talking-
loss of
Yeah.
the other pug. I'm so sorry. That's never easy.
Yeah. There was
Yeah.
we lost 2 in 1 year, but again, they were older, they had good
Mhm.
lives. I mean, our vet
That's good.
said, like, "You gave them amazing lives," and it was around it's the age that, pugs last, like, between 13 to 16,
Mhm.
17 years. Some live longer, but that's kind of the average lifespan. So our vet was like,
Yeah.
"You've given them an amazing life," and that's all we can do.
Good.
So
Yeah, so yeah,
That's
exactly. They're with us for a
exactly.
short time and we just give them as much love as we can, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you're talking about all like you write in a lot of different genres, some subgenres and things, but are there any tropes that you would never write or you thought you'd never write, but then you did?
Well, so first, I never saw myself writing tropes in the sense of like I never like go in with like, oh, I want to write this, right? I see a story, I write it, and then afterward it's always when I'm getting ready to start marketing that I'm like, oh yeah, I should probably figure out what tropes are in this book, right? And then I like, go through and I do that. And like props to authors who are like, oh my gosh, I just want to write this and they do that because I'm like, oh, I want to have that brain. Like I want to be able to just take one singular idea like that and then create this really like wickedly amazing book. There are tropes I do want to write, like things I would love to one day try. Like I think it'd be fun to do a marriage of convenience. Because I'm just like, oh, that sounds fun. But yeah, for me, I kind of reverse engineering the tropes. I write the story and then I have to figure out like which
Yeah.
tropes are in there. I do tend to like brother's best friend. I am finding this, but that's my first kiss with my brother's best friend, so I think it just comes from a natural place. Um yeah, I think the only thing I would
Yeah.
never write in my books would be like and there's no shade to anyone who writes this. I don't think I would do like a dub con or non-con. I think there's dark romance authors who do a brilliant job of writing that and having thoughtful conversations. I just don't think that that's like my comfort level. So I don't think that would be anything that
Mhm.
I would explore. But I have seen authors who do an amazing job with that and then having some like really thoughtful conversations. But yeah, I think it's just whatever the story I want to tell, I'll just write it, and then if a fun trope appears, is it will appear. I will say I do joke around about wanting to at 1.2 write a white shoes, where it's just a blind woman just getting like loved on by like 5 hockey players.
That sounds
Yeah.
amazing. I would definitely read that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. Yeah. So every time we have a podcast, we like to have our authors ask one question to our readers or to our listeners, I should say,
Mm.
who can then answer the question either on Instagram or in a comment on YouTube. So, what is one question that you'd like to ask our listeners?
Ooh. Oh my gosh. Well, I think in the spirit of it being a new year, 2026, what is the one thing you as a reader would love to see happen in the book space in 2026?
That's a
Mm,
great
that's
question.
a good
Love that.
one. Yeah, I like
Mhm.
that.
And I think going back to it's funny because we were just talking, you were just talking about this a little bit about with the trope talk, but this is a thing that's super important to me in my books as well, and that's consent. And I know that's something you've talked about before. So how do you present
Mhm.
and make clear consent within your books?
Oh yeah, I mean, very like enthusiastic. Typically someone is asking, there's usually a check-in too, like even if it's, because people are like, oh my gosh, it's not and like no.
Yeah.
And I think Heated Rivalry, if you've watched it, I think really reiterated because people talk about like how sexy it is, and you see Ilya throughout like the show, and the same thing in Rachel's books, just checking in. And I think it was good. It was a good reminder. Like consent is incredibly like sexy and having those moments. So a lot of times, and I think you see this especially in Finding Home, because Elle, the female main character, is a survivor of sexual assault. And she talks about that with Clayton, the male main character. And so when they have sexual interactions for the first time, you're like, he's checking in with her. Like, is this okay? Like, are you, and not in a
Mm,
way like, oh, I'm nervous. It's still very
mhm,
much, you are beautiful, you are sexy, I want to be with you, I can't wait to touch you, I want to check in with you. And it's done in a very like romantic, sexy
mhm,
way. And so I think I just naturally build those conversations in where people check in with each other, and both him and her, right? Because I think a lot of times we think consent is just him asking her, and absolutely that is part of it, but the other part is in a hetero and MF relationship, them checking in with each other, just in any relationship, MM. FF non-binary person, like you always want to check in. And so I think
Yeah.
I just kind of like naturally build that in and just have fun with it. And I think a really good example, and I can't wait for people to read it, is the recovery run in the first big intimate scene between the two main characters there and getting to see how that plays out, with it being a very vulnerable moment for both of them.
That sounds fantastic.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like that
Mhm.
a lot. I think it's important to make those clear, and even not just in the books, but also like at live events, like what we were talking about earlier. You know, I have a lot of readers who are like, "Oh, can I take a picture with you?" And I always say, "Yes." Or is it okay if I put my arm here on your
Yes.
shoulder or something? Like, I think it's
Mhm.
something that we can bring not just in books, but like
Yeah.
throughout your life,
Yeah,
really.
and not just in romantic
Yeah, and I always
relationships in other areas too.
yeah, and friendships and hugs. And I'm a hugger, like I'm a very affectionate person. So like at events I have to check because they have the little stickers that like, green means and I'm like, can't see them. So I'm always like, are we hugging? Like I'll just ask,
Yeah.
are we hugging? And it's okay because I've had
Yeah.
some readers who were like, no. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, everyone's
Yeah.
comfort level is everybody's comfort level. Although weirdly, for
Mhm.
whatever reason, people who don't like to hug still seem to like to hug me. I feel like I'm maybe a human teddy bear or something. I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
know.
I think there are just some people with like those vibes that you're like, I like, because I'm not normally a hugger, but like there's some people like they just have this vibe about them, and I'm like, I have to, I really want to hug you, and then as soon as I hug them, I burst into tears, and I'm like, I don't know why I'm
Oh,
doing this.
I give like mom vibes. Like I've always given mom vibes. Even when I was a teenager, I was a mom of the group, and people are just like, I don't know, there's something maternal about me, and they just like, oh, Melissa will just cradle me, and it'll be all okay. And like I'm like the friend who's like, come to
Mhm.
mama, like, like
Yeah.
I don't know. So but I
Yeah.
definitely think that that's important, the consent piece and checking in with each other
Mhm.
and and for me, like in my books, it's fun to explore that not just with the romantic relationships, but even just the relationships we see with my main characters with their friend groups and with their family.
Mhm.
I explore a lot of like those dynamics, and sometimes those relationships are messy and there's some like boundary resetting that has to happen, and it's fun to kind of play with that dynamics. And some of those stories I leave where like they come to kind of an initial resolution, and then there's like more conversation to happen, right? And I know as a reader
Mhm.
they're like, "Oh, I want that to be resolved, or I want them to be perfect," and it's like, well, life's not that. This is the first step in like a journey that's going to go a long way.
Mhm.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Mhm.
Um, so you were talking earlier, you said earlier that you are still a full-time author. Is there any point in your business that you'd be like, I've hit this goal, I'm gonna quit my job and become a full-time author?
Hmm. I mean, I think that's the hope of every author to have like I don't want to have just a big year and be like, okay, it's going to be about consistency, making sure that there's consistency in sales, consistency. I mean, obviously, like if I hit a certain number, it'll be like, well, Mama doesn't need to worry about consistency now. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's just a matter of that consistency, or who knows, it might just be a matter of like, hey, I guess it's time for me to retire, and now I can do this full time. Um, but
Mhm.
we'll see what the future has. I mean, my editor has been an author for quite some time, and she's been very successful, Gemma Picardo, and she has author friends who have hit the New York Times bestseller and have had 10 books out and still aren't full time yet. So
Yeah.
it takes a long
Mhm.
time. I think I tell people, if you come into this thinking you are gonna like this is gonna be a good side hustle, oh, you got to really love this, because you are going to spend a lot more
Mhm.
money. Even traditionally published authors, like you're going to spend a lot more money before you actually make any money.
For sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Definitely.
And
Mhm.
so bringing out more books this year, are you eyeing any of your side character up for a future book? Have you got anything on the horizon that you can talk about, or that you're just thinking about?
Yeah. Well, I know that there are people who really want for At First Smile, Gillian and Jojo, as well as Trina and Finn. So Rowan's brothers and Penn's two best friends, to have their own books. And I have ideas. It's just a matter of like actually sitting down and writing it. And I have started
Mhm.
Jojo and Gillian's book. I just haven't gotten to a place yet where I'm like, oh yeah, this is definitely happening. And so that definitely like that. For the recovery run, there is a potential, and I want to see how things go with the recovery run first. But I am excited because the book that comes out this summer is when my debut came out. Jonathan, the best friend, and Sarah, who they never meet in the book. They
Oh.
never meet. Sarah is a teacher that Combe is working with in Costa Rica, and Jonathan is his best friend. They never meet. And everyone's like, are we going to get a book about Jonathan and Sarah? And I'm like, they didn't even meet. And I was like, thought about it, and I thought about it, and I told myself I would never write a book just because people wanted it. Because I wanted to always write books that I felt like had a good story, and I don't want to give people something just to say I gave it to them. I want to make sure that I'm giving you what you deserve, and I want it to be like the gift the first book was. And then the story spoke to me, and it's beautiful and it's heartbreaking, and I love these two, and I can't wait for people to read it. I'm really excited for this book to come out this summer. It's been waiting to come out to the world for 2 years. I've been holding on to it so tightly, and my editor is like, you got to let it go. It needs to go out into the world. So at least that will be for readers of In the Hello and In the Goodbye. They'll finally get what they've been asking for 2 years.
Nice.
Oh, awesome. That's so exciting. And then, so for that launch, how are you going to celebrate? Do you have big plans when you to celebrate when you have a launch, or do you like just hide under a blanket?
Usually I do something kind for myself that day. I schedule my social media posts, and then I walk away from social media that day, because I tell people like it's such a letdown, because like you release your book and then you're like, now what? And even if people are like talking about, it's like, just stay off social media, go do your thing. So I usually, because I always release on Tuesdays, I usually plan like a nice dinner after work. It helps that I'm working throughout the day. Sometimes, depending on certain publications, I might take the day off, and I won't for the recovery run, because I'll already be taking time off the following week for sports romance. But yeah, that's what I tend to do. Like maybe go treat myself to a pedicure, or, dinner somewhere out. Yeah, I tend to do that, and then usually have some sort of event happening around that time. I try to schedule events to coincide, or a release that is around the same time that I'm doing an event. Like it was kind of a whirlwind with the holiday romance, because I was at sports romance, or excuse me, at Stimulant, and then I was on book tour in New York for the holiday romance. So it was like it was a lot. Usually it's just one thing, but that had a whole 2 weeks of events, and I was like, I got back and was like, I need a nap.
Yeah.
For a week.
Oh, like just a little bit of a time off after that. Yeah, that
For sure. I'm releasing a book right before Sports Romance Con as well, so that's I got the whole thing going on too in my brain.
It's fun. I will say, releasing those books right before an event, which, whether it's like right before the event is like a week or two ahead of time, and you bring early copies, or it comes out, is always really fun too, because people get really excited, like, oh, this book just came out.
Yeah.
And you can do some fun, like, special stuff around it. So
Yeah, that's the plan. So hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yay.
And then we just have one final question for you, and we ask this of all the authors. If you could read any trope for the rest of your life, what would it be? Yeah,
Grumpy Brother's
tricky
best
one.
friend.
Grumpy Brother's best friend. That's very specific, and I love it.
Yeah.
Very specific. I just, if he's grumpy and he's her brother's best friend, I'm in. I don't care the rest. It's just, I will read it. And then make him a werewolf and he's Irish. I'm done.
I love that. I love that. I love that you know exactly what you want, and you're like, this is it.
That's important.
Yeah. I am very like, this is what I like. I mean, I'll read just about anything, but that's just anytime a friend says, "Oh, it's Grumpy Brother best friend," I'm like, "Oh, okay, yep, yep." I don't need to know anymore. Just give me the book.
Yeah, moves to the top of the TBR.
Nice.
Yes. How about you two? What's your like go-to? You're like, ah.
Oh my gosh. You answer first, Nikki. Let me think about this.
We always make other authors answer this, but we don't take a chance to think about it ourselves.
Yeah.
Crisscross. I've table turned.
Yeah.
We've been hoodwinked.
Yeah.
I think
I do love a brother's best friend. If it was brother's best friend and fake dating,
that's what I was gonna say was fake dating. Yeah.
yeah, that would be. And if he was a nerd too, I can't
Oh, yeah, I
resist a
love a
nerdy
nerd.
guy.
So
Yeah.
Nerd.
I don't know,
Sexy
my
nerd dad.
fourth book in my hockey romance series, The Penalty, he's grumpy brother's best friend, and he's also a nerd. So there you go, the trifecta for you.
Yeah.
But
Perfect.
yeah, I think fake dating or like marriage of convenience, like any of that sort of like, if you can go with that fake relationship, let's say fake relationship.
Fake relationship, yeah.
yeah.
Because then you have like the forced
Mhm.
proximity. You have like two people who don't like each other.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Or the
fantastic.
accidental
Mhm.
marriage, and then they're like, oh well, we have to pretend now to keep up appearances.
Oh, that sounds really good.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, that's what I'm
Right.
sticking with.
Yeah.
Right, like, oh no, I'm gonna get fired if like,
Yeah.
I love that too. I want to do a marriage of convenience at some point.
Yeah.
I want to try a fake dating. Originally, the plot for At First Smile was they were gonna fake date. That Rowan was going to fake date Penn. She was gonna fake date him to get away from her ex who was harassing her, and then he was going to fake date her to rehabilitate his reputation, because he got himself in trouble at the Stanley
Of
Cup. But then, like,
course.
yeah. So as I was writing it, their chemistry was just, I was like, there's no way these two are ever gonna fake date. They were the one couple of mine that I've ever written that was like from the jump. They were like, we're gonna get married and have all the babies. And I was just like, apart. And then I was like, this is not my fake dating. So I reworked and then just followed the story, and but yeah, they were very much like, that was the book that I was like, you know what, screw it, they're getting together. This book is just going to be an exploration of a relationship, because these two, there is no that they are going to get together. It's more about how do they build like an actual healthy relationship, because there was no keeping these two apart.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's
Anything else
awesome.
felt very forced and inorganic, and I don't like. We've all read stuff where you're like, this is inorganic. You did this because you felt like you had to, versus this is truly the story of your heart.
Yeah. Yeah. Because some characters, they just don't want to do certain things. I have a book that won't come out for another year or two, and they don't do what I want them to do. I'm like, no, this is what the story is, and they're like, nope, we're gonna go over here and do this, and I'm like,
Come on,
that's a different story.
get in line. But they don't.
I found just listening to it, because my first Finding Home was my second book I published, but it was the first book I ever wrote. And the original concept for that book is night and day different. It was supposed to be Elle coming home and getting a chance with Noah, who was the boy she had a crush on in high school. And it was going to be that story. And then Clayton, his best friend, is just like, nope. I've been in love with her this whole time. And I was like, yeah, and he was just like, and I'm gonna have all this deep depthness and be just cinnamon roll. And I was like, oh, damn it. Because originally it was just, she was supposed to reconnect with Noah, and Clayton was just going to be like the guy friend, the guy who was just like, ran the. And then as I was writing it, I was like, Noah and her had no chemistry, and Clayton and her. And I was just like, all right, I guess it's going to be a different story.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, thank you so much, Melissa, for coming out and letting us peek behind the curtain of your author life. Before we forget, can you tell us again the name of the book that's about to be released and when it will be released so that people can go pre-order it?
Yeah. So the book that's coming out is called The Recovery Run. It's an own voice romance about a blind woman training for a marathon with her brother's grumpy best friend.
Nice.
It releases March 3rd. Oh, age gap. Gotta throw that in there. It releases March 3rd, and it is up for pre-order now. Of course, you can pre-order it on the Amazon, but there is a exclusive pre-order package with Heartbound, where you get a signed copy and some swag, as well as one with the well-read damsel, that you also get a signed book plate and swag, and you can pre-order both of those pre-order the book through either one of those amazing all romance bookstores or at your local bookstore. And if you're like, you want to support your local bookstore, but you want a signed book plate, just have your local bookstore connect through my website. I do have a form where they can request book plates and stuff like that. And I've gotten really good at sending a lot of those out.
That's smart. I love that.
Awesome. Awesome.
And where can our listeners find you and your books online, your website, social media accounts? We're going to post the links in our show notes, but if you can just let everyone know.
Yeah. So I have my website, melissawhitneywrites.com. Has all my information. I'm most active on Instagram at Melissa_Whitney author because I hated myself and I put that underscore in there. I'm also pretty active on Threads. I don't do the TikTok. I got angry and deactivated my account.
Understandable.
Those are the two main. I'm just like, you know what? Know your limits. Those are my two main ones. In terms of my books, you can find me obviously ebook on Kindle and Kindle Unlimited. All of my books are audiobooks except for my holiday romance, and then of course paperbacks. You can get my books at your local indie bookstore. You can always get signed copies through Heartbound. They're my local bookstore here. You can order them online and you can reach out to them directly and say, you know, I'd like Melissa to personalize it. Again, they're like 5 minutes away, so it's an excuse to go pop in there and hang out. So, but yeah, that's where you can find me.
Amazing. Great. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you so
coming out and
much.
talking to us today. It was fantastic. It was great chatting with you, and I really can't wait to meet you in person as well. It's going to be great.
I'm excited.
Yay.
Thanks for getting dirty with us. If you had fun, leave a review on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. New episodes will be released every Wednesday, and we've got an amazing lineup of authors to share with you.
If there's someone you'd love to see on our show, or you've got burning questions for your favorite authors, send us an email to backstagewiththebookbabes@gmail.com or leave us a comment on our social media accounts. You can find us on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok, Backstage with the Book Babes. Links and applications for authors to join us as guests are at linktree/Backstage with the Book Babes.
You can follow me, Albie Blake, with that handle on social media, specifically Instagram and TikTok.
You can follow me, Nikki Jewell, and learn about my books at authornikkijewell.com. I'm also on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at NikkiJewell_books.
Thanks again for joining the party. Keep turning those pages and keep it spicy.